Okay, so hey guys, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we've got sport this week. And in the sports this week, we've got basketball, cricket, rugby, football, UFC, and boxing news. If you are new around here though, and you have not yet subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do indeed like the video. And let's get straight into it. So, starting off, we'll start off with the cricket news this week. And this week, was T20 international cricket, and there was there's 3 games. The first one was England won 164 to 156 with 10 balls remaining versus India. So a good start for England. But India then won 185 to 177 versus England, and then India won again 224 to 188 versus England, winning the series 3-2. So they've come from behind to win, which is a bit of a shame really. But at least we put up a bit more of a fight in the T20 than we did in the Test. And maybe in the One Day International, we might actually be able to creep some sort of a win. But yeah, that is the cricket news. Moving on to the rugby news now. Scotland won 52 to 10 versus Italy. Ireland won 32 to 18 versus England. And France won 32 to 30 versus Wales. At the moment, I think France need 24 points extra. So if they win versus Scotland, I think, in a few days' time, which is the last game of the Six Nations, so there won't be much rugby news for a while. But if they win, they need to win by 24 more than the opponent to be able to beat Wales in like league standings and be able to win the Six Nations. So it's very unlikely that Wales won't win, but will be interesting to see what happens. Moving on to the football now. We starting off this week, Liverpool won 1-0 versus Wolves, PSG won 3-0 versus Lille, Real Madrid won 3-1 versus Atalanta, Man City won 2-0 versus Mönchengladbach, Chelsea won 2-0 versus Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich won 2-1 versus Lazio. Southgate has named his England team with Watkins and Johnson being called up for the first time and Lingard back in the team, which is something that he's definitely deserved. Olympiacos won 1-0 versus Arsenal, but Arsenal go through 3-2 on aggregate, so, I mean, congratulations to them. They just hanged on just about. Roma beat Shakhtar 2-1. Molde beat Granada 2-1, but Granada go through 3-2 on aggregate, same kind of thing. Dynamo Zagreb won 3-0 versus Spurs, which is mad, really, what happened. 3 goals from 2-0 behind on aggregate, and congratulations to Dynamo Zagreb. Leeds won 2-1 versus Fulham. Man City won 2-0 versus Everton. Southampton won 3-0 versus Bournemouth. Brighton won 3-0 versus Newcastle. And then there was the Champions League draw with Bayern Munich drawing against PSG, Dortmund drawing against City, Chelsea drawing against Porto, and Real Madrid drawing against Liverpool. So some are very big games. PSG buying the main one because that's the final from last season happening in the quarterfinals. And then there was also the Europa League draw with Sparta Prague being drawn against Arsenal, Ajax versus Roma, Granada being drawn versus Man U, and Zagreb being drawn against Villarreal. It's not as interesting games, but the Ajax-Roma game will be good. And the Sparta Prague game versus Arsenal will be good as well because Sparta Prague have already knocked out 2 big teams. Rangers drew 1-1 versus Celtic. Arsenal drew 3-3 versus West Ham. Leicester won 3-1 versus Man United. Chelsea won 2-0 versus Sheffield United. And then there was the FA Cup draw after all them results, which some of them were in the FA Cup. So Leicester's drew against Southampton and Chelsea drew against Man City. So it'll be interesting to see if it'll just be Man City steamrolling it, but maybe we'll see an upset. Spurs won 2-0 versus Aston Villa. Napoli won 2-0 versus Roma. Barcelona won 6-1 versus Real Madrid. Big performance from them. PSG won 4-2 versus Lille. Another big performance. 4-2 versus their rivals. AC Milan won 3-2 versus Fiorentina. And there was a big upset in Benevento beating Juventus 1-0. Just holding on their lead, making the title kind of push for Inter Milan seemingly a bit easier. But AC Milan are still kind of close. But that is the end of the football news. Moving on to the UFC news now. Not much, but Derek Bronson won on unanimous decision versus Kevin Holland. But yeah, that is all the news. Congratulations to him. There was going to be another fight, but it got called off because of COVID. But yeah, congratulations to him. We'll go on to the basketball news now. We're just going to do it quickly. Boston won 134 to 107 versus Houston. Clippers lost 135 to 115 versus New Orleans. Chicago won 118 to 95 versus Toronto. Clippers won 109 to 99 versus Dallas. Lakers won 128 to 97 versus Golden State. Boston lost 117 to 109 versus Utah. Chicago won 123 to 102 versus Oklahoma. Miami won 113 to 98 versus Cleveland. Philadelphia won 99 to 96 versus New York. Lakers won 137 to 121 versus Minnesota. Philadelphia lost 109 to 105 versus Milwaukee. Chicago lost 169 to 9 versus San Antonio. Boston lost 117 to 110 versus Cleveland. Miami lost 89 to 85 versus Memphis. Clippers lost 105 to 89 versus Dallas. Lakers won 116 to 105 versus Charlotte. Boston lost 107 to 96 versus Sacramento. Miami lost 137 to 110 versus Indiana. Chicago lost 131 to 127 versus Denver. Lakers lost 99 to 94 versus Atlanta. Philadelphia lost 129 to 105 versus Sacramento. Clippers won 125 to 98 versus Charlotte. Miami lost 109 to 106 versus Indiana. Boston won 112 to 96 versus Orlando, and Chicago won 100 to 86 versus Detroit. But yeah, that is the basketball news. A lot of basketball this week, a lot more than usual, and I'm out of breath after that. But there is only one sport left, and that sport is boxing now. Quite a bit of news this week, but only one kind of big fight. Starting off with some things, starting off with just some kind of agreements and dates and stuff. Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury have signed the contract to see them fight around June, is what Anthony Joshua said, around June time. But at least now he's actually signed the contract, both of them, and it will be just really, really looking forward to this fight. But fights is a bit closer. Chisora will fight Parker on the 1st of May, seeing Chisora try and bounce back after the loss, and Parker is a very, very good fighter and be tough opposition for him. But the actual fight that did happen this week, Lawrence Okolie KO'd Glowacki to become the WBO Cruiserweight World Champion. Another English World Champion, which is something you always love to see as an English person like myself. It's kind of what happened with Anthony Joshua, because I believe he came the Cruiserweight World title, and then he moved on to the heavyweight. But I think Okolie, sorry, I couldn't remember his name then, will move on to the heavyweight eventually, but I think he wants to liquidate the cruiserweight first, or I think that's how you say it. But he looks very kind of good, and his story, if you don't know it, just look it up. It's a big story from where he came from to where he is now. But yeah, hopefully he goes on to big things still, and I'm going to keep watching him and keep an eye on him in the future. But that is it for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed. If you are new around here and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you did indeed like the video, and thanks for watching.